You can't slow down if you've never been going. Okay, so if you're in the room and you're like, Coach, that's me, I'm slowed down. I'll be like, nope, you've never done anything. Okay, you actually have to start working. That's your first step. But if you really know what I'm talking about and you've been going at one point in your life and then all of a sudden that going kind of stopped, these are the reasons in our business why that takes place. And so there's 12 different ones, and I'll go ahead and get started. Number one, lack of identity. Lack of identity. When you have a lack of identity, typically what happens is you're confused. You kind of talk like whoever you last talked to. And so if you talk to your dad, you start talking like your dad. And if you talk to your friend, you start talking like your friend. If you watch a video on social media, that becomes your latest influence. And because you're not rooted in who you are and you have a lack of identity, you kind of shift with the wind. All right? Has that ever happened to anybody in the room? Have you ever felt like that? Couple subpoints there. We don't know who we are. We don't know what we believe. We don't have purpose and vision. And we lost track of our mission, our why. We may have started at one point knowing our why, but then we lost track of it. And we lost that why. And so number one is a lack of what? Identity. A lack of what, gentlemen? Identity. A lack of what, gentlemen? Identity. There you go. Number two. Number two is burnout, fatigue, exhaustion. Again, something you could never have until you once work, all right? Sometimes new people are like that to me. I'm fatigued. I'm like, you started yesterday. There's no chance you can't be tired. That's impossible at this point. That's impossible. But number two, burnout, fatigue. We're not personally developing our mind, okay? So if we're not reading, we start coming up on complex issues sometimes, and we don't know how to process these issues. We don't know how to heal our heart. We're holding on to something from the past, and that's causing resentment, bitterness. We're just holding on, and we're not letting go. And there's a healing process that we have to go through. A lot of men in the world don't heal, and they hold on to something from their childhood or something in the middle of their career or a former relationship, and it doesn't serve them. We don't take care of our bodies. So it could be like physical exhaustion. We just simply don't take care of our bodies. And we think like, we're talking to men, there's a point of our life that you hear a guy that maybe he drank in college. And he drank in college or that age group. And then he rebounded really fast the next day. And then somewhere along the way, he tries to do that again. And he has a few adult beverages in the evening time. And in the morning has to go to work and is like, oh my gosh, when I was 22 years old, when I was 21 years old, I used to. And then it's like, I know, you used to. Those days are gone, okay? Those days are gone. Or like how fast we recover from like a heavy workout. And it's like, yeah, I used to bounce back. And it's like, I know, you used to bounce back. And so there's things that change and there's things that evolve. And that's number two. So what's number two? Burnout. Burnout. Number two, fatigue. You got it. Number three. What I want to do is I wanted to race through the 12 and then we'll just do that way that we can have some time to discuss. Number three, and definitely take your notes like Mike said. That's really big, important. Any notes that you have, that way we'll have time and it won't be me training. We'll just discuss together. Number three, professional development. Professional development. We lack the necessary skills to be successful in our craft. And so we don't professionally develop. And we hit a position and then we stop developing the skill sets that we need to keep advancing. Or we lack the necessary willpower. And so we have this phrase called skill power and willpower. And sometimes it's skills like knowing how to do an appointment or knowing how to make a phone call, but sometimes it's will. It's like showing up when it rains, showing up when it's dark, showing up when it's COVID, showing up when you don't feel like showing up. And that's willpower. Or we lack the discipline or work ethic. And so that's under number three. And number three is what, guys? There you go, gentlemen. Appreciate you. Number four. Number four reason why we slow down, money problems. Money problems. Now, luckily, we're all rich in the room. We've never been not rich in the room. And that's obviously sarcastic. Money problems. Here's what money problems do. We either don't know money priorities. Like we make money, we don't know what to do with it. We get a direct deposit and we just go like, yes. And wherever it goes from there is a disaster. We don't have discipline with our money. That starts us into what we call panic management. And panic management means you're solving for the first And so you can't solve for something that's good 3 months from now because you can't see past the first. And if you've ever been in panic management, you know what I'm talking about. All your decisions is for the short term, and it affects our long-term decision making. We go full-time early. Sometimes we have a spat with our boss, and we say, you know what? I just started in my financial services business. I quit. Or they say, you're fired. And you're like, that's all right. I'm going full time in my business. That is not how you go full time. That is called being unemployed. And there's a difference between being unemployed and full time. Unemployed means you don't have a job. Full time means you're doing full time activities, habits, and behaviors that make you full time as an entrepreneur. Those are two completely different things. But to the untrained eye and to the untrained employee, they don't know the difference between the two of those. And so we don't want that to happen to people. We want them to go full-time when they're doing full-time habits and getting full-time results. Next one that we have here is number 5, team culture dynamics. And I'm gonna instead of using base shop, I'm just gonna use offices, like whoever you work around, your day-to-day peer group, whoever you're around. You don't have trust in your office. And that could be trust amongst your peers, trust among the one that you're reporting to, trust amongst the people that report to you. Maybe there's trust issues in the office, like the 5 dysfunctions of a team. Maybe there's conflict management that's not taking place. Maybe there's too much conflict and they're addressing it all the time. Maybe there's conflict and it's never being addressed. But whatever the relationship with conflict is, that affects the culture of your environment, and that causes people to slow down. People working against each other instead of for each other and helping each other, okay? So what's number 5? Team culture dynamics. Number 6, operational challenges. Operational challenges. You may be trying to run a business, but you don't have support staff. You don't have base shop coordinators, okay? And so what happens is you want to advance and you make some money and you're like, I'm gonna advance. But you don't get support, and so you end up going back and doing $10 an hour, $20 an hour, $30 an hour work, and then you wonder why you're not getting to your $250,000 and beyond in the business. Is because you're doing some of the menial tasks that maybe it's time to graduate and get some support. Maybe the wrong people are doing roles. Maybe the wrong people are doing roles. So you have people in place, the right people are on your bus, but they're sitting in the wrong seat. And if they're sitting in the wrong seat, maybe they need to be moved around a little bit about who those people are. Or you don't have systems or training in place. You just don't have systems in place. So it's still based off of your abilities versus your systems. And so that's something that slows people down, operational challenges. Number 6 is what? Operational challenges. Number 7, personal health. Personal health. Improper diet, water intake, lack of exercise. Improper recovery and healing. We're always running. We're sick all the time. You know, we're not feeling well. We have headaches, migraines. We have stomach issues. You know, these things happen. And the older we get, the more we're prone to have these things happen. Sometimes 20-year-olds are like, you know, what? You know, I'm fine. Well, you're just soft in other areas. Maybe your body's working well, but your brain maybe no. I'm just joking around. But addictions, gluttony. It may be too much alcohol. It may be too much drug. It may be too much sugar. It may be just too much rice, bread, carbs. It could be just too much of something like that. And I know that oftentimes I lose the sugar battle. And I told Natalie the other day, I said, baby, I fell in our marriage. And she's like, what? And I was like, last night I saw Starburst right there, and then I saw ice cream right, it was over. It was just like it's like I said, don't do it, and I went for it. And although we laugh about some of these things, you look at diabetes in America, heart issues in America, the body weight, and this is sugar, this is alcohol, this is eating, and we have to help people out with this side. So, but yeah, addictions and gluttony is big. So what's number 7? Okay, number 8, personal life changes. Personal life changes. These could be really good events or really bad events. I'll give you an example. Really good event, a new baby is born. Okay? But you ever see when a woman gains weight in a pregnancy? You ever see her husband gains weight too? But the husband's not pregnant. What the heck's happening? But the wife is the husband's number one association. And so because he's around her all the time, he starts changing his behavior even though he's not pregnant. He eats like he is. Okay, and you'll see that the habits change sometimes. And here's a downside. Here's something negative: a death in the family. Both a birth in the family and a death in the family is something that can cause people to slow down. Okay, or you move to a new office, or you move to a new state. These are great things. We open a new office. My family just moved. I remember moving to Texas, but all my habits changed because I didn't live here before. And that was a life event. Or new marriage, new divorce. Okay, we hope to have more marriages and births and new offices than when we want to have the other. But any life event that takes place is going to affect people. So number 8 is what? Personal what? Personal. You got it. Number 9. Psychological barriers. Psychological barriers. All right. This could be a fear of failure or a fear of success. Okay. Fear of failure, fear of success. Both are fears. And you might be in the room saying, I have a fear of failure. You might be in the room saying, I have a fear of success. But the majority of men have a fear in these regards. Okay. Anxiety or depression. Shame and guilt. I recently had a conversation with a gentleman that I really respect, and he said, I'm carrying guilt. And we took an inventory of something in his past, and we took an inventory of how he's living his life today. Men, if you're living a life of sin, you're going to have guilt and shame. It's going to affect you when you attract other men into your life and in your business. I'm not here to judge anybody. What I'm here to do is help you uncover it, acknowledge it, see it, and move on from it. Okay, that's the most important. And even if one guy in this room during this session says, I need to let go of porn. I need to let go of drinking. I need to let go of looking at other women. I need to let go of my anger. I need to let go of my bitterness. I need to let go of that. This meeting was worth it. It's just one guy letting go of one thing. Okay, and that's important. So that shame and guilt, whether it's past or present, it's going to psychologically mess you up in the business. And then later on in your career, you're going to come up with an excuse about why you didn't make it in the business. And you're going to say it's because time, money, energy. And it's not. It's not. It's one of these things. And so we want to help you uncover that. Number 10. What's number 9, guys? You got it. Number 10. Number 10 is an extension of number 9, and it's called imposter syndrome. Now, let me tell you what I mean by imposter syndrome. We have these phrases like the lying stage, the quitting stage, and the doing it stage. This is a phrase that we use. And a lying stage may be that you're so excited in your 4th month, but you haven't made any money. That people in your warm market must think, Ever's lying. There's no way he's that successful. He just started. Why would he be so excited? Now, he didn't physically lie to somebody, but he's walking, talking, and acting like he's growing a business, and he hasn't even been successful yet. We call this the lying stage, all right? And then we go through this quitting stage where we question ourselves and we don't know what to do moving forward. And then we go into a stage called the doing it stage. And that doing it stage is like, no, I made a commitment. But what imposter syndrome is this. It's when you've been in lying stage too long. And it doesn't just happen when you're in the beginning, because when you're in the beginning, you go through these 3 stages. But then when you become a broker, you kind of go through them again. And then when you become the next level, you go through them again. So it's not like this is one stage of your life that's never going to go away. What imposter syndrome is you have a lot of insecurities and you're walking and talking like something that you're not. And you're not congruent in certain things, but you're acting like you are congruent in those things. And what that does is you start playing the role of a character instead of a role of yourself. And that starts becoming like, it makes you feel like you're fake. Even though nobody's calling you fake, it makes you feel like you are. And people see that and they don't get started with you. And it kind of paralyzes the faculties of your growth. It paralyzes you, okay? So number 10 is what? Imposter syndrome. Number 11, compliance in legal issues, okay? This will cause you to slow down, all right? Compliance in legal issues. You're not following rules or regulations in your industry or your office or your team or the state or the federal government or the industry or anything that you're in, your license. You're jeopardizing your license, okay? You're jeopardizing your license. We've told this to many people before. Many men have gone to the graveyard in this business. We say, you can lose your team. You can lose your clients, okay? But do not lose your license. Do not lose your license, because you could always rebuild a business, but you cannot do that if you don't carry a license to do your business. And so if you're doing something that would jeopardize your license, hurting clients, doing something illegal, doing something fraudulent. That's something that's definitely going to slow down your growth. Breaking the law, okay? Obviously, these are things we want to stay away from. So number 11 is what? Compliance and legal. Number 12. Number 12 is the farthest from you, and it's the one that people will say, that's the one that's affecting me, when most of the time it was one of the others. But number 12 is market conditions. Market conditions meaning the economy dropped. Look, if you're a truck driver right now and diesel fuel just doubled because of the Iranian war, that makes sense. That directly hits you right now. War is going on. It's not your fault. You're driving trucks. Your costs double, okay? If you're an airline right now and you sold tickets all summer long for trips and then the price of gas doubles, that's bonuses not being hit by executives, and that could cause an airline to slow down a little bit with some of their growth and some of their numbers, okay? And but those are true market conditions. Luckily, we're in a business where whether the economy is up or economy's down, people save money and they buy insurance and they do rollovers and they do annuities no matter what's going on. So thank God we chose a business that's recession proof. Just know this, your business is recession proof. People always need to make money and they always buy insurance. Okay, it never changes no matter what. But the economy drops, it affects your business, competition can increase, or technology shifts. I think the closest thing to our business may have been during COVID, when they were like, do Zoom. And we were like, we don't even know how to log into a computer, okay? Then people had to learn how to go get their own devices and do Zooms and do that stuff. I remember the first time they're like, just click share screen. And I'm like, share screen. What does that even mean? How does this even work? You mean they could see this? And then I remember that was probably my biggest one with technology shifting. But that one's called what, gentlemen? What's number 12? Okay, market conditions. Now, are there other reasons that people can slow down? Yes. Some that come to mind, a negative spouse. Okay, that could slow down a spouse. And typically when you find yourself in that situation, probably earlier on there was a lack of communication, a lack of dream selling, okay? So although it may be true for a man to tell me, listen, my wife is slowing me down, my spouse is slowing me down. That could be true. But I'm also going to tell the spouse that if you really are a man, then you're running your relationship. And if something's wrong with the relationship, guess whose fault it is? It's the guy's fault. Now, I'm not here to assess blame. It's not like, oh, your fault, ha, ha, ha. No, it sucks. Anybody, raise your hand if you've made mistakes in a relationship. Like you've been in a relationship, you made a mistake and you're like, damn it. It keeps coming up, or it's like I put a seed of doubt or a bad seed into my marriage or my relationship, and now it just like I have to deal with the weeds that come out of the ground now, okay? And that's what happens. Again, nobody's here to judge, but that might be something, a negative family member, spouse, somebody that you're close to. But that goes to the identity circle, the identity of who you hang out with and what you're rooted in and everything like that. Here's the good news. All of these 12 can be fixed. All of these 12 can be improved on. And no matter what yours is or what you've dealt with in the past, this could be a good opportunity to improve it today. And I hope that you choose to do that. Now we could open up some processing. We're 25 minutes in. And this could be questions like Mike said. And I'm not the guru that knows everything. I have a lot of experience dealing with people. I have a lot of experience in watching from a hierarchy vantage point, a lot of issues that come up. And the higher and higher you get in this thing, really it makes you more and more humble because you see the pain that people go through to build a business. But you also get a chance to see the other side when somebody chooses to change, chooses to improve, chooses to follow the system, chooses to be coachable, chooses a good attitude. And trust me, good things take place. Now notice I didn't say a bad upline. Okay, I didn't say a bad upline. 90% of the issues that people have, they say it's their upline. Okay, they say it's their upline. And I'll tell you this, it is very common, those are smoke and mirrors, meaning there's a period of time where you absolutely believe your upline is the reason you suck, okay? Or your upline is the reason that you're not getting it done, or the office that you're in is the reason, And I just want you to know that's because you haven't built the emotional intelligence yet, the mental toughness yet, or you don't understand that really it's up to you to be successful and it's up to you to win in a big way. And that's not what you want to hear when you're in victim mode. There's this disease and it spreads fast. It's called excusitis. Excusitis is it's an epidemic in society, and it's you're far more likely to get excusitis than COVID. Okay, and they call it excusitis 19. Okay, and it's still getting into all the offices and the minds of men, even in 2026. I mean, this thing is a plague. Okay, and it goes far. If you want, I'm not even putting that as a number, and here's why. You have the right to go through blaming. You could blame. That's all right. It's probably Donald Trump's fault. Donald Trump stopped your business from growing. Absolutely. Donald Trump woke up in the White House worth $10 billion and said, I want to stop one of those network marketers in Texas from building their business. No, it's not. Joe Biden, he may be asleep at the wheel. He may have been sleepwalking at night, but he didn't do anything to your insurance business. He didn't do anything to your insurance business. Nope. He didn't stop you from the ability to recruit and sell and everything like this. Your mom or dad or your sister and brother that are annoying at the holidays, that's all that it is. They're annoying at the holidays. They don't dictate how many recruits, points, and apps that you get. Your girlfriend or your boyfriend, same thing. It's like whether they support you or not, to be honest with you, the level of support you're receiving, you probably deserve. Okay, let me just peel the Band-Aid off right now. Sometimes people come up to me and they say, you're not going to believe this. I say, what's that? And they go, my friends and family aren't supporting me in this business. And I was like, well, tell me the biggest victory you've had prior to being here. Tell me, how much money have you made prior to being here? How many businesses have you built successfully prior to being here? How many rings do you have? You know, how many championships have you won? Well, I haven't. Well, that might be a reason. That might be a reason. And so it's not there. Guys, just letting you know something, and I know this is tough, but I really want to work on everybody's minds here. Just because we get started in business and we're excited after a BLM doesn't mean that our friends and family need to support that. We may want it. We may have supported them. How many of you guys were there for somebody else that wasn't there for you here? It's annoying, isn't it? It's not fair. It's not right. Damn it, you owe me. Okay? But I want you to know something. It's not going to be fair. It's not going to be fair. It's not going to be fair. What Jesus did on the cross wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. It's just the way that it goes. And if you choose the life of leadership, I want you to know people are going to gossip about you. They're going to murmur about you. They're going to text each other about you. They're going to talk smack about you. And these are the loved ones. I haven't even told you about what the strangers do, okay? These are the loved ones, right? And I want you to know something. It makes the price of winning and overcoming these things so worth it, so worth it. Now, I'm going to do the worth it conversation at 2:00, but let's process together. Who would say, if you just want to start, there's no right or wrong answers, but if you look at that list of 12, would anybody want to venture off and say, men, I'm going to start it off today? Ricky, start us off today. Start us off, Ricky.
There's two things. One is you helped me identify this, meaning what I was thinking about lust. I was like, is lust when my eyes look at a woman and I lust over her? Is that stopping me from growing? You know, and it is. It's a psychological barrier. Mm-hmm. So it kind of stops me from really just seeing the clear vision of what I'm here to do. Really, you know. Mm-hmm. The other thing is a question. You can help me just remind me about the professional life changes. You know, you kind of know what happened. So like dealing with that, what's the process?
And do you mean professional development?
Personal life changes.
Oh, personal life changes.
Number 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there one of them specifically or just in general?
Yeah, so getting fired and evicted at the same time.
That's a big one.
Yeah. So just help me process that. Because we talked in the beginning.
Yeah.
This is a good place to have a good distraction.
Yeah.
So stay locked in, coming all the time, staying focused, you know, so I'm doing that. Just mentally.
Guys, can we give one clap for Ricky for launching? Okay, and he went right into it, okay? Lusting. By the way, we could lust over video games. Lust doesn't have to be sexual, okay? Lust for men is often sexual. Okay, but lusting is very hard to break. Okay, has anybody ever said this? Well, I didn't do anything, I just looked. Okay, I have. Okay, I have. And you know what? Has anybody, like at one time, raise your hand if you remember when that justification was enough. Like it is, it's what it is. I'm sorry, it is what it is. I remember being there. Does anybody remember that process where when you were doing it, you know you're the only one that knows and can control it, but then you started going, this isn't right? Do you remember when you did that, like at one point you do that? That's good because it means that you're developing your moral fortitude. Okay? You're like deepening your moral fortitude. No woman can stop somebody, no spouse can stop somebody from whatever is in their mind. But that's where guilt and shame come in. And guilt and shame eats you up more than any spouse could eat you up or get you in trouble for anything. Okay? And so I appreciate you jumping out there and doing that. And yeah, it can slow it down because it's a distraction. And it's of the devil. If I don't have time to cover this part, and I want to hit your second part, but if you look at how the devil tempted Jesus, okay? Does anybody know the different areas of temptation there are? Okay? The sin of the this, the sin of the this, the sin of the this. What are those? For those that don't know, what are they from somebody that knows the Bible a little bit? Christian, what are the different sins?
There's a lot, but one that when he tempted it was food.
Food, because he was fasting for 40 days, so the temptation of food. Okay, that's your body. What others? Okay, power. You could have all of this. This could all be yours, your dominion. You know what I mean? That's a great one. Good job. Any other? He challenged his identity as the Son of God. Well, if you're really God, that's like somebody saying, if you're really a man, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, shoot. Oh, if you're really the guy, why don't you tell your girl, you know this, you're going to do this. You ever have your friends do that stuff? That's the devil, man. That's the devil. Because then in the moment, have you ever been in that spot where you're like, you know what? I am the man. Hey, I'm going out tonight. You know what I mean? It's like you got to watch out with that. You got to watch out with that because that's what it is. It's challenging your identity. That's good. Any others on the sin front? And then I want to do the last part. Okay, so the last part, and if you read about Jesus' temptation, the cool thing about all the ChatGPT and everything, even if you don't know the Bible that well, I'd still go there for the answer, not to chat, but you go to chat on where to find it. Okay? Use chat as a bridge to get to the other side, but chat is not the other side. Okay? It's just a tool to get you to the answers. So to answer your question, when you talked about getting evicted and losing a job in the same month, that is a big life change. That is a big life change. And I'll simplify to make sure more people can answer. From my vantage point, I will tell you this. It all comes down to your DMAs, your daily monitoring activities. I've slept on the floor in Dallas before when we got our first place. I was embarrassed. I didn't have a bed. Okay? It was much nicer having a $5,000 bed like I have right now. That thing is amazing. Okay, my mattress is like 3 guys have to carry my mattress because it's like the largest and the best there is in the market. Okay, anybody know these? Have you ever moved one of these things? They're like, you ever slept on one of these freaking beds? Sleep on my bed, it's over. Okay, but I remember not having a bed. Okay, I know going to lunch today. I went to a steak restaurant, but I remember going to lunches. Holy moly, it wasn't a steak restaurant. Okay, it was terrible lunch. I'm sharing this with you because regardless of your housing situation, okay, the fact that you have your wife and kids nearby is all that matters. It doesn't matter if you're in a big house or an apartment. In fact, I drove this really nice F-150 when I started the business, and then I had to trade it in for a worse car, and I actually felt like my life was going backwards doing this business. Anybody go backwards in your car, your apartment, your savings? Man, it sucked. It's like, I thought this was supposed to advance me. I feel like I'm going backwards. And sometimes you got to go back like what? Like a slingshot. Sometimes you got to get pulled back so that you could propel forward. So to answer your question, pay more attention not where you live, what you drive, what your hobbies are, and more about, am I still able to do my daily monitoring activities? What are my habits when I wake up? What are my habits when I go to bed? What am I doing in the daytime with phone calls and prospects and appointments and reaching out to my wife and reading something personal development and getting in there and that's what's most important. And so you could study DMAs and then you could give you a better answer on that side. I hope I helped you. Who else has something that they struggled with? It has to start with something that they struggled with and then any questions or just a comment. He said one of them. Go ahead, my man.